So Dems weigh forcing Manchin's hand on their $1.7 trillion mega bill. You understand, guys, this was supposed to be $10 trillion. This is only $100 billion a year. We piss that away on all sorts of other fucking initiatives in this country every year. This is a drop in the fucking bucket. It's absolutely ridiculous. If we take away power from government, then big corps will be less inclined to donate to politicians. Well, I would say the converse to that is just don't allow them to donate to politicians and you'll take care of that shit. Yeah, we spent $700 billion for missiles. $700 billion. That's billion with a B. Democrats are tired of waiting for Joe Manchin after following the West Virginia Democrats' every utterance on President Joe Biden's sweeping climate and social spending plan. Some Senate Democrats say their party should put the bill on the floor as soon as possible, regardless of whether Manchin gives a public commitment to support it beforehand. That could risk sinking the bill on the floor. Already, some Democrats are worried they will blow another deadline and kick their haggling into January. Many in the party argue they won't gain anything by waiting any longer, especially after so much internal debate and Biden's erosion in the polls during the legislative bargaining. Senator Mazie Hirono said she'd like to put it to a vote and let people know where people stand. And Senator Jeanne Shaheen, Democrat of New Hampshire, also said it's time to move forward, noting that all along Manchin's been negotiating. Several Democrats noted that Manchin has already had substantial influence over the social spending bill's total cost, as well as its policies. And he has, guys. He's gotten everything he fucking wanted out of this thing. Everything. Every fucking thing. So bump that shit, man. I'm sorry, bump that shit. My experience in this business is you have to bring it to a vote to finally see where you are. All this speculation notwithstanding, people have to face the reality of yes or no, said Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin. Manchin's had more than enough time. There comes a point where the American people expect a result, and God damn it, we do. Democrats look fucking feckless right now, guys. They look feckless. You know who gets shit done? All the shit we don't want them to get done? Fucking Republicans. They get the shit done. I hate what they're getting done, but I'll tell you what, they're a hell of a lot more fucking efficient than we're being. And I say we're not because I'm a Democrat, but because they are the closest that I can align with my progressive values. I don't have another party that I can say I would align with. Working Families Party, show me where they're in Congress. I'm all good for it. You know, they're just not there yet. DSA doesn't run candidates in federal elections. So, you know, can't fucking, you know, stump for them either. You know? So Democrats are as close as I have to my alignment. All right. If I want something to get done, I'm going to have to go through them no matter what the fuck I do. And it sucks ass. But yes, when I say we, I'm referring to progressives that have to cater to these fucking Democrats that won't do a goddamn fucking thing, but sit on their hands because they're just as fucking bought as the Republicans. But see, here's what the Democrats do. The Democrats just don't change anything, right? We won't change anything. If we don't change anything, status quo. Status quo wins out. The Republicans, on the other hand, they want some changes. And usually for the worse for working class people, people of color, LGBTQ people, women, you know, it's usually worse for the wear for those people. And because Democrats are so fucking feckless, just like with Roe v. Wade, where they had 50 fucking years to legislate a policy into law that would prevent anti-abortion laws in this country, they didn't do a goddamn fucking thing. They used it as a talking point and a scare tactic to drive votes. And then when they got into office, they didn't do a fucking thing about it. Now, guess what? We have a conservative Supreme Court, and we have a good chance of losing Roe v. Wade. That going by the wayside. And by the way, that doesn't just protect people having abortions. It's beyond that. It's about bodily autonomy. It goes on to many other things. So we're in a shit situation, guys. Like, if these guys don't fucking move on this, we're going to be in a totalitarian fucking state in fucking no time. We're going to have Trump as Speaker of the House. They're going to try to impeach Biden and Pelosi. Or, I'm sorry, Biden and Harris. And depending on how much they win in the midterm, they may actually be able to pull it off. And if they pull that off, guess who will be a president again? Donald fucking Trump. That's their plan. That's what they want to fucking do. And this motherfucker, Manchin, and his fucking mansions are playing goddamn games with American people's lives. For what? So he can get a little bit extra Skrilla? That's what it's about. It's about dollars in that motherfucker's pockets. And that's on the motherfucking real right there. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer reiterated his intentions on Monday to put the $1.7 trillion child care, climate, education, and health care bill on the floor and pass it before Christmas. It's an aggressive timeline given critical outstanding work on raising the debt ceiling and passing a defense bill, not to mention incomplete work on Biden's social spending bill. Manchin said in an interview on Monday that it's up to party leaders when the vote occurs. Schumer doesn't have a history of putting legislation on the floor without full support of his caucus. And Manchin said he's heard threats of impending deadlines before. We heard that it had to pass as soon as we came back from the August break. And then we had to do it before the president went overseas, Manchin said. I've heard all these deadline tables before, you fucking fucknut. The upcoming few days amounts to a critical choice for Schumer and his party. Schumer has hoped to use the approaching holiday season as impetus to stay in the Capitol and finish its work on the stalled agenda, which Democrats say would help improve Biden's moribund polls because he's tanking because you motherfuckers aren't doing your goddamn job for the American people, the very reasons we elected you into office. I'm looking at you, Cinema. Manchin, I can kind of see it. Trump won big in West Virginia. Trump did not win big in Arizona. Sinema ran on a progressive platform in Arizona. She fucking lied to the American people. She lied to the people of Arizona. She's a fucking liar. You can't get around it. There's nothing you can say to get around it. She fucking lied. Go back and look at her campaign literature. Go back and look at her campaign ads. Go back and look at what she told Angela Green when she got Angela Green to step out of the race, who was running as a Green Party candidate. Go look at the deal she made. She fucking lied to people to get her ass in office. It will be a tight squeeze. Parliamentary work may not finish until next week, leaving just a few days before Christmas to pass the bill. Senate Democrats are fairly confident that they have support from the other 49 members of the caucus, including Sinema. Okay, I'll give it to her. She still fucked us on this. It should have been a $6 trillion bill. She still fucked us. Don't think that she didn't fuck us. She's privately reassured Democrats she's on board with the plan, even as she's declined to make public commitment. That's good. I'll take it. It's about fucking time. Rolling the dice absent a firm commitment from Manchin could be too risky for some Democrats. Senator Tina Smith, Democrat of Minnesota, said, I'd like to have a commitment among all 50 of us that we're all going to stick together. What happens if it goes down? We can walk around and say we tried? That doesn't really sell well. Added John Tester. There have to be conversations with Joe to make sure you're not moving into a failure situation. You guys got to understand, the way that this works is if this vote goes down, if it tanks, they can't bring it up in this session again, if I'm not mistaken. So they got to wait a long ass fucking time to bring this bill back up. And I'm pretty sure they have to start over too. Already several Democrats say privately that meeting Schumer's Christmas mark is unlikely, with one putting the odds at 0. Some Democrats are already steeling themselves for another delay. Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat of Virginia, meanwhile, said that while he still expects Democrats to pass legislation by the end of the year, they don't necessarily need to. There's nothing magic about it, Kaine said, adding that he wants to pass the legislation sufficiently in advance of January 15th to ensure individuals don't see a pause in the child tax credit benefit, which technically expires at the end of the year. The House is currently scheduled to come back from holiday break on January 10th next year and will have to take another vote on the social spending bill if the Senate changes it. Democratic senators are currently planning to cut down tax reforms that benefit the wealthy, and the Senate parliamentarian may axe the House's immigration language, meaning Senate approval would not be the final stop before Biden's desk. Manchin also opposes the 4 weeks of paid leave in the House version of the bill. Why would you oppose 4 weeks leave, 4 weeks fucking medical leave for people? Like, where is your fucking head at, you piece of shit? We have people dying of COVID. We have people losing their fucking jobs because of COVID. Because of the time they have to spend away from work. You know what? My state of Arizona guarantees 2 weeks of paid sick leave. You're telling me that the federal government can't guarantee 4? He's a walking shit show. I wish he would fucking quit the party. He's not a fucking Democrat. Nothing he's doing even fucking aligns remotely with any Democrat I've ever fucking heard of. A sense of deja vu has crept in among Democrats. Manchin was very cagey ahead of the Senate's consideration of the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package in March, declining to say he would kick off debate on the bill. And when that debate finally began, he helped shave down some unemployment benefits during a nearly 12-hour delay for consideration of the bill. Still, Manchin was more committed to that proposal than he is to the social spending legislation, and there was little question of whether he would ultimately support it. He said this time around that if Democrats think you're there, then you ought to go ahead and put it up and let's vote. So would Democrats take a chance if Manchin didn't give them a green light? We have not made that decision yet, said Michigan Senator Debbie Stabenow, the number 4 Democrat. But she reiterated, most Democrats, bottom line, there's a very, very strong push to vote before Christmas. This is what I'm talking about with this dog shit motherfucker. He has been given everything he wanted, every single fucking concession he wanted out of this bill. He has not bent a little fucking bit. He is playing president from the Senate. You know what? Starting it on, that's bullshit. These companies have seen a higher profit margin than they've ever seen in the history of their existence. If they can't cope with paying the taxes that are due on the money they're making, then maybe they shouldn't have a fucking business. If they can't pay people a livable wage, then maybe they shouldn't have a fucking business. Fuck them. Fuck them. Let them leave. New businesses will open up to take their place. That's the way that shit works. Somebody else will come in and do it. The services will still be needed. There's still going to be somebody that will create a role and a spot in that state or that municipality or that country, because there's still going to be a need for those services or those products. So bump that shit. I'd say if they want to go overseas, cool, go overseas. You can't operate in the United States anymore. Because you left because you decided you couldn't pay taxes like every other fucking American on this goddamn fucking continent. I'm sorry, in the United States. Excuse me. Not on the continent. But in the United States, right? Fuck them. I don't fucking need them. Kick rocks, Elon Musk. Go fuck yourself. I don't fucking need shit from him. Motherfucker. His cheap-ass Tesla cars. They fucking suck, dude. Go watch the videos on them falling apart. Fuck that clown. I don't give a fuck. We break up their monopsonies on resources, which many of them have. And then we go to town on making the changes we want by creating new businesses. We could even create co-ops and ESOPs to take the place of those businesses. Fuck them. No, we need to stop. We need to stop letting bad actors in this country run this country. These are bad actors. I don't know. Starting on the biggest growth that we had in the history of this country was under a 96% tax rate for businesses and corporations, and that was under FDR. So obviously that incentivized a lot of people to work well, balance work and family life, and it held companies accountable for creating good and safe environments for their labor. So history says that it's actually it incentivizes quite a bit of work, quite a bit of spending. When more money is in the hands of the middle class versus the upper class, you have more people buying things, which is going to spur the economy. I mean, how long are the working class supposed to go without raises? How long? Our productivity is such that if we were to equate it based off of when minimum wage started, we would currently be at a rate of $24 an hour. Well, unfortunately, Stunadon, you're wrong about that. That's absolutely not correct. Had government not stepped in the 1920s, we'd still be in the Great Depression. We'd still be tanking right now. So that's inaccurate. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. That's when we saw the greatest growth. We weren't even stagnating that bad under Carter. It was used as a fucking ploy to get him out of office because people felt he was kind of feckless. I think they just didn't like his foreign policy. They wanted us at war, and he wasn't about to do that shit. Yeah, the government did spur the economy during COVID. As a matter of fact, they're still spurring the economy, and a lot of Wall Street doesn't want them to stop. Jay Powell wants to start pulling back on some of that shit. And the stock market's saying, no, please don't. So obviously, the big business and stock market, the people that you're advocating for, Stunadon, they want us to keep going. The problem is that the money should stop being directed towards the big corporations and start being directed towards, like, the average people.
The period from...
So hopefully we'll see a vote on this thing before the end of the year. It's not looking like it, but how do you move Manchin? That's really the question, because it's all up to him, and he knows it, and he's doing this power play bullshit. I don't think it's gonna bode well for him.